Good morning, everyone. Thank you for listening to our very first podcast, actually, BHB, Business Helping Business Podcast. And I am so honored to be here with you right in front of Johnny Cruz. Johnny is the owner, founder of Estrategia Migratoria. Did I say that right?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay, I had to practice that actually. And he's here today because he is a very important person, I would say, especially about what's happening right now in the economy, what's happening in the world, what's happening in the immigration. I believe he is the right guy that we need to talk to. He is going to share his story and the things that we should really be focusing on when it comes to, hiring people from outside. So there's so many things that we want you guys to listen to, and we're just gonna start with Johnny's introducing himself, and he is a BHP member, of course. Johnny, good morning. How are you today?
Good morning, good. First of all, thank you for this opportunity. I'm glad to touch on this point, on this topic, with everything that is going on right now. As you said, I founded Estrategia Migratoria. I've never been through the process, but I work the process. I'm originally from Puerto Rico. I moved to the U.S. in '93, joined the military, and after the military, I went to work for immigration, so for USCIS. So I started as a clerk, which was the lowest position for the agency, and then progressed to information officer, adjudicator, then to supervisor. So I worked for USCIS for a total of 17 years between the Orlando office and the Tampa office. Then after that, I moved to the Department of Labor as an immigration analyst, where this is the part that interests all of us because that's where you process the prevailing wage, which is the first step for the labor certification, and then the labor certification that once it's processed, it goes back to USCIS for processing. So, throughout the years, I saw how people, were taken advantage of or given misinformation. People pertaining to, are they attorneys? Are they notaries? What are they? A lot of people losing their money, a lot of mistakes. And so that's why I switched from USCIS to the Department of Labor to kind of start getting my feet wet and learning can I do this? And I just retired from the government officially on December 31st. So now I'm basically going on my second month.
Nice. So of last year you retired.
Correct.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So now you can focus on your business.
That's correct. Now I'm doing this full time.
Okay. Now, just to clarify for the viewers, USCIS stands for?
It's United States United States Citizenship and Immigration Services.
Okay. And so that agency works in conjunction with the immigration, the Department of the Homeland Security, right?
Correct.
So they work together. So the USCIS is more of they process all those for you. Is that how they work?
Correct. USCIS processes the benefits portion of it.
Okay.
Every family petition, application for green card, citizenships, anything related to employment is a different process. Some are done locally, some are done at a service center, but anything dealing with benefits, USCIS is the agency that does the processing.
Gotcha. Okay. So, you've been around for so long. It looks like, we check out your website and everything. You have helped thousands of people. And can you share us a story of what really stuck in you? Like something that, that you always kind of think of whenever you're helping people? Like what's that story that's in your head most of the time?
Well, back in 2011, one thing that hit me was while I was doing interviews, the government gives you a protocol to follow, instructions, what the law says, but they never focus on the person, on the family. And me, doing a lot of reading, looking into leadership, looking into, at one point, being a business owner related to immigration, I started listening to their stories. So I switched my interviewing process instead of going like reading a sentence one at a time, asking a question. I asked the person, "What is your story?" And what I got back, at first I got scared because the first time I did it, the lady started crying.
Really?
And I was like, "Look, I don't want to offend you, blah, blah, blah." So, but they're like, no one ever asked me that question. And so that stuck with me. I switched my interviewing process to asking their story because all of us have a story. All of
Yeah.
us have a reason why we're doing this.
Yeah.
All of us are in BHB for a reason. You know, it's not joining Facebook. It's not joining a little group. You know, we have a purpose.
Yeah.
And so all that, the purpose, the story, that stuck with me. Like I said at the beginning, I didn't go through the process because being from Puerto Rico, you know, no one talks about immigration.
Yeah.
You know, you don't even know what it is.
Right.
So learning, listening to the struggles, I mean, it's hard. And I always told people, look, even when I was doing a fraud case,
Yeah.
I would tell the people, I'm not here to judge you because I don't know what I would have done if I was in their situation.
Yeah.
Because especially when you have kids, you know, you got to think about people leave their country, their family, their friends. A lot of them are in a good position. And they come to the U.S. where they don't speak the language most of the time,
Yes.
have to learn how everything works. So it's a stressful situation.
It is, yeah. And I feel like you doing that, like, really hear their story and prepare them for the real world. Because sometimes, you know, we feel like, okay, let me just go in there and answer all the questions, right? Because I can relate to that, you know, because in the Philippines, when we go for our visa, right, we go there unprepared. We don't know what they're gonna ask, and most of the time we have to go back at least 3, 4 times, 5 times, and it's just frustrating to the point that people would just give up.
Correct.
Now, to have someone like you, you know, I go to you and I say, "Hey, Johnny, can you help me out? You know, what do you think I can expect?" I mean, that's valuable to me, because now you're gonna tell me, okay, because you have that background, you know what they ask. You can prepare me before I even go up there, so my success will be better.
You know, it's funny you say that because a lot of people will say, "Oh, that's cheating the system." It's not cheating the system. That's what set me apart from every person out there that is just filling out a form. A lot of times, the person filling out the form doesn't even speak English. They're just using Google Translate to figure out what the question is on the application. So my goal is, with every person that I have as a client, or even friends that come and ask me a question, I treat every case like if I was still working for the agency. So
That's awesome.
if I don't accept it, if I don't believe their story, I don't take their case.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You know,
So like you're pre-qualifying them already.
that's correct. I do a filter.
Okay.
And if I don't believe their story, I tell them, I said, look, you might as well find someone else. Sometimes a lot of people don't want to go to an attorney. You know, is it necessary? Well, it depends in every case. But there are times that I tell them right away, I'm like, look, I could take your money and then they're going to process your case. You're going to have to go back and find an attorney. Why do that?
Right.
That's not my goal. My goal is to help. So what I do is, if I see from the start that they need an attorney, I have attorneys that I refer to.
Okay.
I pick which one I send them to because I know their experience, because they used to sit on the other side of the desk while I was in immigration. You know, I don't get any fee from them. I don't get anything because it's illegal.
Yeah.
What I care about is for them to take care of the person.
Yes.
That's what I care about.
Wow. You really have a big heart, Johnny.
Thank you.
And I love that you do that, you know, because it's rare right now. People, in whatever industry you're in, right? They just take you as a transaction.
Correct.
They don't really see the person. And for you to even shift that, the way that you do it from the very beginning, you made that switch. Hey, you know what? Let me just really get down there and talk to the person, as opposed to just looking at their application and you don't really know their story, and then you just process it that way. And I think a lot of people do that. in any industry. And of course, for you, it's much more sensitive because these people came from another country. They don't know this place. They don't speak the language. They have families that they left behind. So it's very important to find someone like you. And now that we're on this subject, as everyone knows, because of what's happening in the immigration right now, not just the individual person is affected, but then sometimes people forget that the business owners are hurting.
That's correct.
Right? And so what your observation has been as far as like the workforce, and what have you seen?
I mean, before people talked about immigration like it was just a piece of paper that someone had to fill out without thinking about the impact on schools, on hospitals, churches. I mean, the agriculture industry is hurting.
Vacation rentals too.
Vacation rentals.
Yes.
Everything. Every industry, every business in the United States is suffering the impact either because they don't have the employee that they had or they just lost a lot of clients. I mean, even attorneys. I have met attorneys that they'll say, oh, I'm going back to Puerto Rico because business is bad.
Oh, wow.
So as a business owner, you have to be prepared for that. And it also opens the door for that business owner to be creative, and that's where BHB comes in. See, we have people from different industries, we can tap into each other's business and see how we can help, see how, instead of going outside and try to go through a struggle and screen different people, we already had the members here. So that's a big advantage that we have.
Yes, and I couldn't agree with you more because I have gotten phone calls because they ask me, hey, do you know anyone in the BHB that can help me because I don't have my cleaner, they already left, or I don't have anyone that can assist me at the shop, things like that.
Correct.
So to have the BHB community is definitely helpful. But for those watching out there, because building a community is tough, right? It takes time to have a community like what BHB has. Of course, you can have a community outside of BHB, and maybe you have other organizations that you are affiliated with. But for other people that kind of feel alone, right? Business owners, because most of the time we feel alone because we're not connected to anyone. If they do want to bring in somebody from their country or maybe a family to help them out with the business, like how does that look like? How does the process look like?
Well, there's a bunch of options. Let's say a business want to bring a professional. So they have to determine where the education is, how they qualify. Is it a regular person that doesn't have a degree that have to compete for what they call an EB3 process? So they'll have to do a labor certification, which that's where the Department of Labor comes in. But there's a variety of options for investors, from if the person has a business outside the country and want to bring that executive, that manager to run a company here, they could do that. They can do, if they're a U.S. citizen, they can petition for their brothers, sisters, for the parents, children, kids that are already married with kids. So immigration has multiple options. Some will lead to a green card. Some will lead to just a visa for an X amount of years.
Okay.
Some people don't want to live here. They just want to come here, do the business, come in and out, expand their network and invest in the country.
Okay.
So there's options for that. But the first thing will be to analyze where the business is.
Okay.
And that's where BHB comes in. BHB, as a member, you can get your business audited. You could do, your strategy to how you're going to grow your business. Because if you're going to do a family petition or a visa for the labor force, the business has to be able to pay for it, to pay that salary.
You have to show that, right?
Correct.
Or your documentation.
So here in BHB, we can do that strategy. We can do their taxes, take a look at their taxes to make sure that everything is correct. If there's issues with the credit, with funding, we have people that handle that.
Yeah.
So the ability to pay for that person that you want to bring in is crucial, because Everything else could be processed. They could say, yeah, they qualify, blah, 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 till they get to that point that, okay, can the business pay for it? And you cannot say on your taxes that at the end of the year you made 100,000 and you want to bring, let's say, an engineer that makes 130,000.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
Right.
So it's a little process on taking a look at their business. So the first thing I will say, look, get your membership, use it, contact Junie, schedule that appointment to get the strategy call done, the business audit.
Yeah.
And then from there, we can take the steps necessary, because it doesn't happen overnight. You know, the process, some of it, depending on the type of visa, you're looking at 18 months, 24 months. And you don't want to be that business owner that spend $10,000 or more to bring someone in, and at the end get that case denied because you didn't have your documents in order.
Gotcha. Yeah. So that detail is so important. I would say too, like, do they have to be a business for like X number of years to be able to do this, or as long as they can show, even though they just started out, but because their business just took off and they're making, you know, their first gross income of like 300 something thousand, are they able to bring someone in, or do they need to wait a few years, or how does that
A lot of
usually
people
work?
say the perfect profile is for a business that's been active for 2 years, because you can see how they have been growing. But in reality, it doesn't say that you need to be in business for 2 years.
Okay.
You just need to prove the ability to pay, the need for the business. There's also temporary visas. So it doesn't have to be an employee that you're trying to bring in full time the whole year. It could be, you know, if you have, let's say, like a tax company, that the season peaks from January till April, May. You can bring someone in for 9 months. It's what they call the H-2B visa. You can bring them in for 8 or 9 months to help out with the business. Then they go
Gotcha.
back, and then the following year they come back in.
And they come back again, just
Correct.
like those cruise workers, I
Correct.
think, right? So
Correct.
that's what they
Yep.
have, you know. I see that a lot. Like when we went on cruises, like there's a lot of Filipinos there because for whatever reason, I guess they're really hardworking people like everyone else. But, you know, I see that. I'm like, I asked them, you know, how long are you going to be here? Oh, only 8 months, 9 months. And I always wonder how that works, you know? So I guess that's the other type of visas that you can get.
Yeah, there's a variety based on what they do. Like, because in the cruises, you have the singers, you have the performers. So based on their skills, they can qualify for an O visa, for a P visa. So there's
A lot
there's
of
a
stuff.
visa for every type of experience out there.
Experience. Okay. So what would you say would be the easiest one to get? If I come to you and say, "Hey Johnny, I really need one to come over." What do you think I should do? Like the quickest one, because I am such in need of someone to help me. How does that look like? Like, what do I need? Like, does it have to be related? That person has to be related to the industry, experience-wise?
Sometimes, yes. Sometimes all they need is 6 months of experience, a general experience.
Okay.
Like, for example, you look at hotels that are trying to bring people to work in different positions in the hotel. So as long as the person have general experience of 6 months, they can do that.
That's easy, you know?
But if you are, let's say, you have a finance company and you want to bring someone related to your industry, then more than likely that person is going to be a professional that have already the experience. So the process, they might even be able to qualify without the company having to sponsor them, because there's a visa, what they call the national interest visa. A lot of people say, "Oh, the visa waiver." Well, it's not a visa waiver is one thing. National interest is a different thing. But if the person have at least a bachelor's degree, 5 years of experience, they can look to see what a project would look like for them to come to the U.S. and basically implement that project, implement that business plan, where they do projection 3 to 5 years. So this is what it's going to look like. I'm going to employ people, or this is my target. So if it's related to your industry and the person is a professional, I mean, you have to look at the times on the visa bulletin, which changes every month. So that gives an idea on the processing time
Okay.
for that.
So the processing time, would you say like the least amount of time would be like 18 months realistically, or like the least amount like to
On
process?
average, yeah,
About 18
but it
months.
depends on each visa because each visa has a
Has a
different
different-
processing depending on what country they're from. It also impacts that. That's why, like around the 18, 19 of the month, the visa bulletin for the following month is posted. That way you have an idea. You have like 2 weeks. If you're waiting on that time frame, then you can get an idea, okay, the employee is going to be processing. Because, for example, for March, one of the categories that was behind for months, it became current. So now a lot of people that were thinking, okay, maybe I have like 6 months to a year more to wait, is current right now. So all those people effective the 1st of March,
Yes.
they can submit their application for green card, or if they're outside the country, for consular processing.
Gotcha. So, do you see like a lot of business owners now, like based on your experience, because you now focus more too on the businesses, right? But
Correct.
you at the same time help individuals.
Correct.
I'm pretty sure the application for individuals have surged more than likely because of what's happening, right?
Mhm.
And what about for the businesses? Like, has that gained traction as well? So, have you seen that happening? Like,
Yes.
yes.
Yes, because a lot of people, for example, they were hiring a lot of people from Venezuela that had TPS. TPS went away, so the work permit went away. So if they hire someone to work without documentation, they could face, steep fines if if they come through and check. So now they're more into, is the person married to a U.S. citizen, because they know the work permit is gonna come in, and after that they're gonna have a green card. But TPS, it was like up in the air, but it never led up to a green card. It was just temporary.
Okay.
So a lot of those businesses are hurting. So what they're doing is concentrating on bringing someone from the outside to come in and fill that void that is basically hitting every business out there.
Yes, yes. So it really is hurting. So, as you said, business helping business is here to do an audit. And I love that we have you as our resource, because we would just never know, like we would look at, okay, let's do an audit, see how your marketing is, see how's this, but to add additional questions, because that would be like, hey, how's your workforce? Do you need help on that area as well? Any consultations, I think, for BHB members, as you know, we have so many members in different industry, and Johnny is one of the best resource for any questions that you have for immigration and things like that. And I love this conversation because it's also sensitive.
Yes.
And sometimes we don't really want to approach anybody about it. And like, what would you like if someone asks you, like, I'm a business owner, I do want to get someone, but where do I begin? What do I do?
Well, what I do is I have a sit down,
Okay.
and I ask about the business, how long they've been in, are they current on their taxes, and then I look at the different positions, because you have to pick a position that you want to bring in. It's not just say, oh, I want to bring someone to help me. There's a website from the Department of Labor that you go in, and then it has, hundreds, if not thousands probably, of categories depending on the duties that the person is going to perform. And that's what determines classification. So I have that conversation with them. Like I just did one about a week ago with a company that services vacation homes.
Okay.
And they trying to bring someone to work in their laundry. So we go through, okay, what kind of occupation they gonna do, what kind of duties they gonna do, because my job, since the business owner is the client, my job is to basically show them, okay, you have these three positions, but you got to show them the difference in pay, because as we were talking about, you have to show the ability to pay. So
Yes.
I mean, it depends on the state, depends on the county.
Okay.
You know, there's impact on the position pays different. If the position is in Florida, if the position is in California, the salary is way up, way higher. Then you looked at, are they going to be traveling? Do they have to speak another language? All that impacts the pay because the
Okay.
Department of Labor will look at all that, kind of like if it was a special skill. So it depends on what you put on that paper, because once you submit that documentation to the prevailing wage to the Department of Labor, you cannot change that. That's what's going to go through the process.
Yes, yes. And that's why it's so important to have you, because you know the journey. You know, some people say, hey, can I just do this on my own? Because they know it costs money. You know, everything costs money, right?
Yep.
It's business. But then if you do it yourself, you're gonna miss so much because that's not even your expertise, you know. And people can, go there at the website, and I'm pretty sure they can do it themselves, right, Johnny? They
Correct.
can fill out the application, whatever, and then just wing it and see what happens. But to have someone like you to assist in the journey and really have the knowledge and experience years and years, and have helped thousands of people, you are so valuable right now, and and all the more future and everything to come. You are right here helping us, BHB. And so this interview, I was really looking forward to it because of such a sensitive subject. And sometimes people don't even want to approach anyone yet because they don't know the person, they don't trust the person. Maybe they'll call someone for me and take me, right? I think right now there's a lot of fear.
Correct.
Do you agree that there's a lot of fear right
Absolutely. That's one of the things that I liked about the setup here, because when you come in, unless someone opens that door, you cannot come in. So when we meet here, it's a safe space.
I agree.
A lot of the things that we do are broadcast to the members only. So you could be a business owner and have a client that have a situation. We could either go to your office, talk to them. We could do a video call. We can meet here. We can meet in my office. So what we try to do is basically think about that person first, because the fear, I mean, and it's not like they imagining what is going on. Everyone has seen the news. We see it daily. That ICE is all over every county.
The whole world.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean the whole U.S.
So things have changed, and we can do two things. We can either complain about it or do something about it. So, and as business owners, the best thing we could do is identify the people that need help, find a way to help them. Sometimes it takes for the person to go outside the country and then wait a time and come back. But when they come back, they're stress-free. What I've seen lately, people were talking about it. I hadn't seen it till December. People are getting bills telling them bills from the government, telling them, you need to pay a penalty. I have one, it was $1,800,000.
Wow.
Because they were ordered removed from the country, and it's been over a year, and she hadn't left. So she got a letter telling her, if you leave by December 31st, we'll forget about the penalty. So she was like, okay, can I fight that? You can fight it, but if you're not gone by December 31st,
Wow.
what's going to
And
happen?
that's a hefty fine.
Yes.
I mean, it's really going to make you go. Because
So,
$1 million,
that's what they did.
And that's like a scare thing. Something that they did, I guess, for that.
I mean, it's like the news.
Yeah.
The news, everything, all they do is create this campaign of fear, instill that everything is wrong and you cannot go out. I mean, there's people that have a green card. There's people that are citizens and are scared to go to work.
It's
because
true, yes.
a lot of people are getting detained and they're U.S. citizens, they're permanent residents. So before it was like, make sure you have your documents and you're okay. Now, even with your documents, people have been detained.
Right, and that's why it's scary, because that's what's on the news.
Correct.
And that's why today, BHB members, it's so important that you know who Johnny is. Johnny, you can definitely trust. He's right here in Haines City, part of BHB. He's a BHB member. And he's here today because he wants to give you guys a message. You need help, BHB got help for you. Johnny's here, and Johnny, I just want you to like maybe is there a message that you want the BHB members to hear from you? Like anything that you'd like to say
Look,
to them?
absolutely. Look, we are here to help. We, as you know, we started a few months ago, but this is here to stay. We're gonna be growing. I heard when we did the opening that for those business owners that they prefer everything in Spanish, the platform in Spanish is coming. So
Yay.
that's another thing. You know, we are doing this thinking about the community. We're not doing this to just put a message out there and not take action. We're doing this for the community. So I will say this. For you business owner, maybe you're struggling because you've been impacted by this going on with immigration. Maybe a lot of people ask you questions about immigration, but you tell them to go to an attorney or you tell them, I don't know anyone. Well, I offer this to you today. As a member of BHB, if you have a person that needs help, or even you, if your business needs help, if you need help personally, as a BHB member, what I will do, we could do a process, a referral system. You refer the person, and I'll give you a commission on whatever is charged. We can also do a white label. Like if you are a business that want to offer the immigration service, but you want to be the face of that business, or you expanding your business, we also offer that. We work behind the scenes. You tell us what you need, and we'll provide it for you. So BHB is a tool. It's a community where you can find a way to escalate your business, to audit your business, to be in a better shape for 2026 and beyond. But there's also, when you think about it, at the opening, I was looking at different people from different industries. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that Joy always said, okay, mingle, make sure you talk to everyone. Mm-hmm. Well, that doesn't happen. Some people stay in a corner. Some people make like a little clique, the person that you always see all the time. So I was paying attention at all that because I knew I was coming here today. I will tell you this. Put your name, your business out there. We have that Facebook page. State what you do. Put your website, because what I do is, like, I have Joy's business, I have Caesar's business, I have the taxes, I have it in my office. I bought a little book, I have all their business cards, their flyers, so when someone comes in, that's where I'm going first. Yeah, I might know someone else that does it, but I'm going to help the community first. And that's what you need to do. Mm-hmm. If you want to grow your business, you need to start doing that, because that's the only way we're going to grow together.
Yes, I totally agree, and thank you for that, Johnny. You really do share the heartbeat of BHB. It's like we love working with a person like you that really have, that care, that you care about the business. This is not just a transaction. And we built BHB that way. We want a community that really want to use each other as a resource. As you said, you have your own flyer, you have your booklet with everyone's flyer and business cards because you want to help them, right? And the same thing for us, at BHB in our website, we have, we're still working on it, but all of you guys, a name and website and things like that are in there. And then for our premium members, we do more. Like we have, the website there, their logo, and then the landing page that we're building, which takes a bit of time, but it's going to be good because that converts. And so, I love that this interview is really going to get the message out there for them to find you. So what is the best way to find you? Where's your office? How do you like to be contacted?
You can contact me through the Facebook page, through our group, or through the portal that we have. You can contact me through BHB. You can let Joyce, Caesar, Gerald, any of them. You can let them know I need immigration help, and I'm there. My office is basically across the street from where we at right now, so I'm a phone call away. Most of the time, every event that we do, I'm there. Or if I'm not there, my wife is there. So I can give you, we can share the information for the business on the notes. You can call me at 866-989-0310. And that's the office number that, if I'm not there, it goes to my cell phone. And, just leave a message if I'm not there, and I will call you as soon as possible because, as you can see, I'm growing all over the place because I'm helping out businesses. So my goal this year is do partnerships, and that's what I'm working on. So I'm going out there, meeting with business owners, see how I could help their business, and it's one step at a time. Just schedule a call. Just take action. Listening to it is not gonna impact your business. You have to take action. You gotta schedule that call with Junie, do that business audit, and start from there. If it's a family issue, you can send me a message, and we'll meet. We'll do a virtual call if the person is out of state or they're afraid of driving. They don't have a driver's license. You don't want to be taking those risks. We can do a virtual call. That's no problem.
I love that. I love that you have multiple ways to get in contact, especially because fear is happening and it's real. And one of the things that I really love too is that you're offering partnership. So partnership is huge. Partnership, collaboration always beats competition.
That's correct.
And it also adds value to your clients because now you're able to provide immigration help. And that's what I love about it. And I really want to thank you so much, Johnny, for coming over. As we know, I announced it in the beginning, you are our very first podcast. And you're going to be on YouTube, And we want to let people know all about this interview. We'll put it on our Facebook. So BHB members, as part of your premium, you are, or growth, you're going to have a podcast interview with us, just like what we did with Johnny. Also, I do want to give a shout out to our sponsor, La Fiesta Mexicana, Mirela Hernandez. So she is our very first sponsor, actually. And she is located in Haines City. We're going to have Taco Tuesday there on March 24 at 7 p.m. That's going to be our networking event. So it's going to be a blast, guys. If you have any questions whatsoever, BHB is always a message away. And thank you guys so much for listening to us, for listening to Johnny's story. And Johnny, any last message before we close in?
No, like I said, thank you for the opportunity. If you are thinking about joining or updating your membership, now is the time to do it because from here we're gonna take off, and you don't want to be missing out.
Yes, I agree, guys. So come join us. Come join BHB. We are just getting started. Thank you, and see you again on our next podcast.